Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spiritism at Noon. We are continuing our studies on inner transformation. The reason we are studying this topic is, like we said, the most important thing for us as a spirit to work on our, or try to develop more ourselves as a spirit in order to rid ourselves from everything that is more related to stages of ignorance, of ignoring the laws of the universe and our immortal spiritual nature. So, the main topic that we have actually in Spiritism, the most important thing is actually this work on self improvement. And it's interesting because we will find that not only in other religions, but many philosophies. And even for people that not necessarily follow any kind of religious, spiritual, or philosophical concepts, this is something that it is within ourselves, this. Notion that we have to grow, we have to evolve, and not necessarily just thinking about the material life, but understanding, the personal growth as well that comes many times with the more we age. It's also a possibility, and understanding through experiences that when we act in this or that way, we will have responses from the world that will be this or that way. So it's like, it's wisdom that comes with time, but that we can, let's say, accelerate the more we understand that, not just wait for them to happen naturally, because they will. Changes are going to be happening naturally. Life has a way of, bringing us to the straight path one way or another, but it can be, let's say, a more pleasing way than actually just, us being uh, uh, waiting for life to happen, and somehow to then we will learn our ways. I don't We don't need to be, getting beat from life, because otherwise I'm not going to grow, I'm not going to learn. So that's the reason why I do consider that this topic of working on our self improvement is the most important one that we have in Spiritism. Of course, having the idea, having the notion, the acceptance that we are immortal spirits is going to help, because for people we still think that this is it, maybe they still are not going to be that much interested in thinking about their eternal being, and will think more about immediate results and rewards. But for those who somehow are already in this path of understanding immortality. And again, we always like to remember that it's almost 90% of human population believes in the immortality of the soul, profess the immortality of the soul one way or another. So, of course, this is something that we have to consider. And having said that, the in our journey to, start this process and help us in this process of inner transformation, we have been analyzing the Sermon on the Mount, and making a parallel as well with the 13 virtues written by Benjamin Franklin, that for sure had the Sermon on the Mount in mind when he was, let's say, summarizing in words, single words, the topics that we will find in the Sermon on the Mount. So being very practical and objective, and in this way helping us in this process. So for those who arrived late, hello everyone, good to have you here. And we will continue in this. So now with our presentation. So today we are going to be analyzing blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. So I particularly like this passage so much from the Sermon on the Mount, because the way when we think and start meditating about the way Jesus addressed to us and the way that he knew that we would be able to understand what he was saying. So here we see that the idea of hunger and thirst speaks of a deep longing and strong desire that aches desperately to be satisfied. There are no words that would serve better than hunger and thirst to express this strong desire to obtain the righteousness that we ought to feel. No needs are so keen, none so imperiously demand supply as this. So it's something that we relate very much. When we are hungry, we are hungry. We have somehow to satisfy, to fill ourselves with nourishment. And the same thing when we want to drink something, when we are thirsty and we have to have water. And we know that we die sooner without water than actually without food, right? So we understand that this is a necessity, that we cannot live without it. And this is what Jesus is trying, this is the image that Jesus wants to bring within each one of us when he says, you hunger, you're thirsty for spirituality, for this kind, for being in the right path, for going into the what it is our destiny to go. And when we apply to do that, we will be filled, meaning we will find the results. And this is one thing that sometimes it saddens me when I hear so many people saying, "Oh, I've been trying to do my best. In terms, of everything. I'm a good family member. I'm a good neighbor. I'm a good citizen. I only try to apply to good. I go to my temple of choice. All of those things, but commonly we will see that as soon as something more challenging happens, they will start doubting themselves and doubting the divine providence and saying, I don't know if this works. And here, this is what Jesus says, everyone that it will be going in this path of righteousness will be fulfilled. It doesn't say maybe. It just says, if you do your part and you commit to, nourish this hunger and thirst that our spirits demand and go in the right track, there is no way we will not be fulfilled. We may not, because we know that, have immediate responses or rewards, but it's just a matter of keeping on doing. But we are very much like a child. You get into the child's bedroom, and let's say that all the toys are on the floor. And then the child goes and pick up, you know, a doll and puts away in the right place. He says, look what I did. I deserve something, right? That's what we do. Everything else is a mess. I just put away one doll or one little car, you know, a little truck. And then I say, oh, where's my reward? Right? And that's the reason why we get so frustrated, because we do not understand that we are just starting. There is much more to be doing. Okay, good work. You are on the right track. Keep on doing that and you will see the result. Any comments or questions so far?
We continue to think that way, Jussara. What a beautiful example you give. Like children, we are like children. You know, you think if you do one little thing, uh, that's it. You're on the right road. You're gonna get rewarded. And yet we still like little babies. We have so much to understand these things that sometimes just, you know, fades away after a while. But it has to be a constant, you know what it is? You have to constantly be aware of your surroundings, of what are you doing every day. It's not just once a week or once a month. It's this effort of working every day. You get up in the morning, you thank God you're here, you pray, you go to sleep, thank you, God. And then I wake up in the morning, okay, I know that I'm gonna go here and there, you know, pray for patience and goodness. And it's just it's so much work. It is constant. And until we understand this, we are where we are because of who we are. But it's a beautiful example what you give here, especially what it says here, hunger and thirst.
Yeah.
Has to be
And
something.
you see, putting away one toy should be already enough to motivate us, in the sense that you will see that you can do it, that you are capable of doing that. And that sometimes it requires very little effort if we are consistent, if we understand why we are doing that, if we persevere. The difficulty that we have now, you know, that saying, old habits die hard, is that there is a new paradigm now that we have to live according to this new paradigm. And it is still not who we are, but it should be already what we want to become. And while we are in this process of understanding that we are, you know, in between, uh, you know, this phase of marching towards what we want to become, it can be harder. But with time, with practice, with patience, with perseverance, the second toy is going to be easier to put away. The third toy is even more, and so forth, you see. And but it comes to that point when I said, we put away 5 toys. It was hard enough. And then in between the fifth one and the sixth one, something happened. And I say, oh, what's the point? My work is of no value. Bad things still happen to me, or, you know, all those things that we should not be thinking about it. Marley, yes?
Um, I believe the concept should be that you do all the good that you can every day without expecting recompense or reward of any kind. That will come.
This is very important what you said, Marley, because this is what we do not understand yet. Um, I can only uh, send good, transpire good energy in the amount that there is good in me. And so, and you see, if there is good in me, this is spreading of this energy will become natural. And the reason why I'm going to be feeling good, it's because I already have good in me. The good in me is, it should be enough for me to, each time feeling better. You understand? Could you understand, all of you, what I was trying to say? I mean, I cannot give you water if I don't have water. And I live happily because I have water. I have water to give. And when I give and when I share, I feel even happier. But even if I couldn't for some reason, or if I'm going to put water for you, I'm holding a bottle of water now, and you don't have a glass, and then everything is going to be spilling in the soil. I'm still, what matters is me distributing because I have. And I'm happy and I feel in peace because I have, because it is within me already, regardless of how people appreciate or not, regardless of how they are going to be able to absorb or not the gifts we are sending away. You see, and this is how we grow when we feel good. uh, and it seems that the more we do it, the more we distribute. It's like, we have this source of eternal water, let's say, that keeps on flowing. It's like it is there, and I'm removing the stones that is not allowing it to shine, and to transpire as much as it should. I don't know if it was a bit too too vague or not, but okay, let's go on a little bit now. Then, in using the imagery of hunger and thirst, Jesus communicates how important righteousness is in our lives, what we mentioned. Jesus extends his blessings to those who desire righteousness as a profoundly urgent priority in their lives, recognizing its vital importance. So everything that we were talking about, why do we pursue that? Because my neighbors, my family are going to say, "Oh, good girl, nice work," or we wanted, a pat in the shoulder, or we want God to go, "Oh, look at me, God," uh, or because it makes us feel good, and this is the right way to do it. You see, it's very much like us doing the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing. It's not about, being caught or not. Is I'm going to do good because this is the way I think it has to be. So righteousness is as necessary to our spiritual lives as food and water are to our physical lives. Without food and water, the body suffers and may die. Without righteousness, the soul feels empty and unhappy. When the uneasy sensation of hunger takes place in the stomach, we know we must find food or perish. When the soul is awakened to a sense of its own desires and begins to hunger and thirst for after righteousness, which is its proper food, it will neither rest nor find peace until it is satiated. So, this is what happens the more we evolve. This is the reason why we also find so many people, you know, kind of in depressive mood today, in depression or anguish, because their soul is longing for more, is asking for more, but it's not anything related to the material things of life, but for this is spiritual nourishment. So this is a natural process that, the same way that your body will crave for food, your soul starts craving for spirituality, for understanding, for, going into the right track, because otherwise you will feel that guilty, regret, remorse, all of those things that will not allow you to feel in peace, at peace. So any comment or question now?
Jussara,
Yes?
uh, I just want to say regarding what you're saying, the other side of the equation is that evil, the topic of evil, as we know it in our daily lives and this in the situation we are facing now in the news, how can evil seems to have more power than the goodness? Well, how can we work that out?
Okay. Um, uh, those are points, Orlando, that are very valid questions, and questions that everyone will have in their minds. And but the question here is the following: why are we not making efforts to remove everything that is against righteousness from ourselves? uh, I think this is the first, because the thing is, we are expecting that other behaviors are going to be better than ours. We expect others to do also what we are supposed to do. Okay, thank God we are not here promoting wars, going into schools and killing children and teachers. We're no longer in that stage, but we kill people with malice, with comments that are not um, noble, and that can hurt, that person in their lives, in their careers, in achieving their happiness. We kill their dreams. So it is as serious as, doing these other things. So yes, wrong deeds are all around. We are still not capable of mastering our thoughts and our actions. But we should not only focus, and I know this is hard because we are bombarded by the media only with negativity, only with, bad things that are happening in the world. And there is no time for them to air good things. I think that as a whole, it's still part of how we we act in the world. They still think, bad news sell more than good news. Maybe when we are looking at all the wrongs of others, we justify ourselves saying, oh, look, I'm good. I no longer do this. Thank God we no longer do that. And so it makes us feel good because I'm not like those individuals, you see. So it is a process, Orlando, and we are far from seeing the end of it. But there is only one way for us to see the end of it one day, which is we should apply ourselves to remove all the traces of evilness from ourselves. And if we do that, uh, light is stronger than darkness. You may have an entire room, dark, pitch black room. But if you get there with just a match, the match is going to prevail. It is still not enough to eliminate everything else, but the match is going to prevail. The light of the match is going to prevail. You will be able already to see. So this is what we have to do. Yes, we are concerned with all that is happening. We are concerned with so much negativity and weakness that it still exists, and imbalances and disturbances and all of this. But the only way is for us to do our share and at least guarantee that where we have control is not going to happen. Things that can hurt people as well. Anyone else would like to say anything? Or okay, so that's good. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Newborn babies intrinsically know that food will satisfy their hunger. They do not think twice about the validity of their physical needs, nor do they neglect their need to eat. They simply cry out for what they know is good. The same is true for those who seek spiritual involvement. There should be no question of the necessity of spiritual food, nor should one neglect the need for fulfillment. Instead, God desires for spiritual, for spiritual seekers to cry as baby cry to him and allow him to generously provide for all of us. So here again is a comparison in terms of the needs of the body and the needs of the soul. When we need to satisfy the needs of the body, we will do whatever is necessary for us to go after that kind of nourishment. And now the thing is, our soul has already started, requiring from us all this nourishment as well, and we're trying to ignore. We're not seeing the consequences of ignoring it, and the consequences is melancholy, is depression, is not being satisfied with anything, sometimes not even when you have material happiness, immediately my material satisfactions. The next minute, you long to buy, I don't know, a new pair of shoes, and then you buy it, and the next day it no longer pleases you like it pleased you before and during the acquisition of that. So, and because we are not paying that much attention to us, our inner selves, what happens is that we are provoking in us this stage of unhappiness, of emptiness. And that, of course, is not going to be quiet unless we do something about it. It's only going to be aggravated. Okay, any question or comment? Okay, all right, so let's go to the next one. Blessed are those who are persecuted. This is another one that we studied together because it talks also about righteousness. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So here we have two stages. We have the first stage where we are going to be longing for righteousness as the only way to appease our souls. And it comes a point that you are absolutely sure about it, and it's no longer a doubt that this is the right way to go. Although, of course, there is a long way for us to go, but there is always a start, always the first step, right? Where people are going to be questioning our choices. Oh, you're too weak. Remember that we talk about, the meekness. Oh, you're weak, or you accept everything. You have a weak personality. You don't impose yourself. How can you stand someone talking to you this way, or you don't reply? If it were me, I would be replying immediately or doing something bad for the person. Or why are you so silly to look for, spiritual answers, or going to churches, or this or that? Do you think God is hearing you? So this is when it becomes hard, or harder perhaps, because then you are feeling so good with yourself, or at least good with yourself, saying, I know this is the right way. And it seems that no one appreciates you. And not only that, but they criticize your effort to achieve what has been so vital for you, in terms of, having a little peace of mind, or going through the struggles without complete despair. And persecution is the systematic mistreatment of an individual or group by another group. The most familiar forms are religious persecution, ethnic persecution, and political persecution, though there is naturally some overlap between the terms. The inflicting of suffering, harassment, isolation, imprisonment, fear, pain, and exclusion. So this is what the persecution means. We having people, groups of people that will persecute us for one reason or another, or for several reasons, that because of us being different. Okay, may he, thank God we don't go to concentration camps anymore. But there are many people that if they could, they would put us there for one reason or another. No, you're too tall. No, you're too smart. No, you're too spiritual. No, you're too chatty. No, you don't talk enough. You're too shy. I mean, we know that we cannot please everyone. Oh, you're in my way. If you stay here, you're going to get my job. So I'm going to do something to jeopardize all that. So those are the things that we have to be very careful about. And it is important when we are in this path, in the spiritual journey, we may even find more than in other situations, because trying to become good really bothers a lot of people, because like I say, do you know that saying, misery loves company? When no one else can do things, you can just justify and say, you see, everyone is doing the same. But when people are doing something different and you are not, even if no one comes to you and say, why you're not doing the same? Deep inside, we are asking ourselves, oh my God, why can't I do the same? Okay, questions, comments?
Jussara,
Yes?
this is a topic that's very close to my heart. And I wanted to ask you a question regarding this topic. I blame the reincarnations of that spirits that contributes to this situation, and I want to hold this the spirit world accountable for doing that. I don't know if you could share something to that, to this my point of view regarding reincarnation of bad spirit like Adolf Hitler, Putin, and the bad people that commit these crimes.
Okay.
I would like to hold them responsible.
First of all, Orlando, I mean, to me, reincarnation is vital, and it was the best thing that I learned when I was very young. And I said, "Oh, thank God, I lived so many other lives. I'm not going to die." uh, and I will have opportunities. There is so much I want to learn. I don't have time to learn all that in just one incarnation. So many things I want to do, and especially when I learned that from incarnation to incarnation, I can only be better. It's very rare for us to be worse. As to the point of judging, uh, like who should reincarnate or not, I think this is too much for us. I mean, we have very limited knowledge and understanding of of other spirits. We barely know about ourselves because we don't remember other reincarnations, thank God, because they could be in the way of us, moving more freer in this world now. We are very quick to judge and to label others. I myself remember. I remember early on when I was an intern in a job that I had, and in Brazil. And homosexuality at that point was very much criticized, not accepted at all. And it was a very difficult topic, very difficult situation. If today is difficult, you think like 30 years ago, it was even harder. And I remember being in that company that there were some homosexuals, and people criticizing them so much, and some of them were actually my friends, and they very good friends and very good people. And I remember once saying, listen, you are criticizing their sexual nature, their sexual choices, but look around. And at that point, there were so many unfaithful couples, men and women that worked in the company, and we knew because they would clearly, go out with each other. And I said, what is worse? How can we criticize one person because of their sexual preference, and not and accept others that are living that are not homosexuals but are living a promiscuous life? You see, so our vision is still so limited, and I understand the validity of your question, because I understand that this is what comes to mind in so many uh, people's mind, of course. But we have to trust God. And what the spirits are telling us, that at the moment, there are only spirits that have the possibility of choosing good that are reincarnating on earth. So there is a small chance, a slim chance for them to change their ways. They are having a chance because God is mercy, God is love. And the same happened with us, Orlando. That's the reason why we are here, because God was merciful with us. Because boy, I'm sure we did so many bad things in the past, and we're still doing things that we regret. So I'm not going to be judging God, why there are some spirits that we will say no, they don't have a chance. maybe what they need, like we say, they killed one person, and past incarnation they killed 50, and now because they are going to get caught and live in prison, it will be the necessary place for them to start rethinking themselves, and when they leave here they will be in a better condition. I mean, I'm just giving examples here, okay? So those are big questions that unfortunately uh, we don't have the answer, but I do understand it's so much easier. Can you imagine if everyone that would cause problem to us, we would be capable of eliminating? At least eliminating for your lives, maybe not eliminating completely. I'm not even going to expect an answer. Can you truly say that there is not a single person that could come to your mind right now that you would think, if it was not wrong, if I had the chance, I would do something to remove this person from my life and permanently? So, yeah, that's us. And so for the moment, let's trust that God has been merciful with us, and we are understanding things better. And let's trust that for the future, we will continue in this journey, and others that are worse than us now may also have their chance to become better.
Thank you.
No problem. I actually would like to stop here today, but